Last embrace, words of encouragement from the respective coaches in corners as Reavell and Axe are about to go at it. Kevin Reavell looking to bounce back from that stoppage defeat. Axe looking to take his career to the next level. Opportunity knocks for the both of them. Axe looks so strong for this division, Andy.
You just look at his back as he was walking across the ring and the way it tapers out from his waist. It's pretty impressive. I was just thinking, actually, though, when Reavell walked to the ring himself, I think he looks a little bit bigger, or maybe just a bit more chiseled, because he's boxed at super welter and middleweight, hasn't he? And this is up at middleweight, and maybe he was kind of flitting between the two, and you really need to commit to one of them. And I feel like physically he looks a bit more imposing. Yeah,
he's even fought even higher than that, hasn't he? He's looked quite sharp. I think that sort of in and around your range counter-punching reflex boxing suits Reavell particularly well. Axe is still sort of working his way through the game. In a way, Reavell is the one with the experience. Big smile from Reavell as he cops Axe with a counter shot. It's been a fast start there from Kevin Reavell.
That was a slightly strange move. He stepped into a big, wide lead left hook and almost tripped over the front foot as he threw it.
Certainly a more conventional opponent tonight for Brad Axe than when he made his debut on one of Johnny Clark's shows a couple of years ago. Nice left hook there from Reavell. Both trying to find the timing, find the distance early on. Axe getting through with a long left hook. Can he make that strength and power tell? Nice little uppercut in that exchange as well from Axe, starting to find his feet.
When you're built like he is, you expect him to throw hooks and uppercuts, don't you, basically, to use that core strength to really generate power, and that would be his kind of range there. Just dip off to the right-hand side, look for that uppercut.
Yeah, good speed from Reavell. A little wild and wide with some of those shots, but they are coming fast, and the speed just giving Axe one or two problems in the first round. Those punches coming from distance, he is making it pay. Referee and there's a little blemish on the right eye of Brad Axe, courtesy of that long left hook. He leapt into that from a long way out. So it's a dangerous ploy that from Reavell, but he's working for him. And some of those flashy shots from distance, basically because he's so quick, Reavell, he's getting away with it, Andy.
He is a bit. We picked it out towards the early stages of the round. It does seem like an unnecessarily risky thing for him to do, really. But that's where he wants it, Axe there, where he can just stick that shoulder in, shrug his man off, open up a bit of space, and then look to do some damage with that right hand. Uppercuts, hooks, body, head.
And they're going to work in that corner on that little mark just to the side of the right eye. Not necessarily in a troublesome position for Axe in terms of his vision.
Second round, round 2.
Reavell working with Will Jones now. It has been for the last couple of fights, and they've found a good fit for each other. He did a lot of PT in his earlier years, Reavell, so he's always been in good shape. Brad Axe having to combine work as a instructor in the RAF at that fire college just outside Moreton in Marsh, so down my neck of the woods. He's having to sort of fit that in, Andy, you know, driving an hour plus to Buckingham a few times a week to get in the sparring and the S&C and all of the work that goes with being a boxer, trying to dovetail that with being a dad. Just had a new son, Otis, a few months ago as well. That's why he couldn't come on the February bill, actually, because his wife, Caitlin, who's ringside tonight, was giving birth again, and he chose to be at home rather than box here. But couldn't say no to another opportunity now that his son's in this world, and trying to diffuse these left hooks that are coming in from Reavell.
Otis Axe is a name, isn't it? That is
Cracker.
a name.
Cracker. And the speed of Reavell, I think, is just a telling factor in these early exchanges. Oh, just missed with that right hand, actually nearly connected with full power. A little dab at the right eye. That is now becoming more pronounced, the cut. A little bit of blood coming out of that. Might need to get a little closer. Actually might need to close the distance, make things a bit more uncomfortable for Reavell.
And again, he just wipes at it slightly. I think it's lengthened a bit, and maybe now it is a touch of a problem, and a bit of aggression there from Reavell, who is having some success with those shots on the inside, and he does throw, when he gets close, those kinds of slashing punches.
And the blood now smearing down the cheeks cinematically for Brad Axe. That cut becoming a little more pronounced, and you can see the look of focus now on the face of Kevin Reavell. He spies the opportunity, sees what it might become. And
this
again,
is good from Reavell, isn't it?
it's the left hook. It's been the punch throughout, the left hook.
But he hit him with a solid left hand into the body, didn't he? Then switched up.
So they're going to go to work on that cut in the corner of Brad Axe. John Hodgkinson, Gavin Smith, Carl Ellis, all part of that corner team. Got a little bit of work cut out. What do you think Brad Axe has got to do to maybe negate some of the better work of Reavell so far?
He's just got to try and slow that movement down, hasn't he, basically? I think he's got to commit to his attacks a little bit more. Maybe try and just target the body and try and knock Reavell off balance a little bit, make him reset, make him start again, because at the minute he's kind of like this whirling dervish, just working around him, holding his feet for long enough so that he can hit him hard enough, and he just can't quite get to grips with him, get a hold of him, and the wind is really in Reavell's sails here. You can see the confidence just building.
And once fighters kind of reach that flow state, sometimes it's difficult to budge, but it only takes one shot, one moment, a sequence, change in the play to suddenly derail all of that. And that's what Brad Axe has got to try and find. He is swinging and missing from time to time, Reavell, but because of his speed, he is largely getting away with it. Judgment at distance and his timing has always been his skill set. I think one of these guys that opponents might look at the record of 6 wins, 5 losses and 2 draws and maybe be led down a certain path, which would be misleading, I think, with Reavell and what we've seen. Good body shots there from Axe, though, and I think closing the distance will help him.
Landed a decent jab too, and that's exactly where he needs a bit of blood coming out the end of the nose there of Axe. So Reavell maybe landed something on the inside too.
Well, there's the left hook again, and it's Reavell's fast hands in those exchanges that are telling again. A little bit of poker from the pair of them, neither wanting to commit in that moment. Reavell was happy to wait it out.
but he got to where he needed to be there, Axe. He took that big step forward, and he was kind of side on with the shoulder in, and then he just allowed Reavell to step off him and find a bit of space, and he should have just gone after him.
Good heavy jab to the body there from Axe. Reavell with the quick combinations and really reactive there, Reavell. Again, it was a short left hand as he was retreating on the back foot. So he was quite inventive there as he was wheeling away out of the circumstance. It was quite clever, that, from Reavell. And the speed is the telling factor here. Little smear of blood now from the nose of Reavell.
But you can tell that he's really enjoying this, and 20-30 seconds ago landed that lead left hook, and Axe just trying to climb into a left hook himself.
Reavell has switched on tonight, isn't he? Speed and reactions are putting him in slots where he's able to land his punches, even when he's having to be creative about that, not necessarily throwing them from orthodox positions. Brad Axe had more moments in that round, didn't he? A couple of more moments, but ultimately Reavell had the last word again.
He did, and those couple of passages of replays we've just seen there are quite illuminating, because he needs to get into that closer range, Axe, to really be as effective as he can be. But it's not like Reavell can't fight at that range, because he can. I think it's probably the case when you watch these two that Reavell is the better fighter in all departments, which is tough for Brad Axe, but I think that probably is what we're looking at here, because when they do get onto the inside, it gives himself more of a chance, but he's not exactly uncomfortable there, is he?
No, he's not, and he's probably a little quicker as well. So maybe he's damned if you do, damned if you don't with Brad Axe. Sort of feel the edge of range with the speed of Reavell isn't necessarily a win situation, so you have to take away his best assets, and I think you have to make it more of a fight. Easier said than done, though, as we move into the fourth, particularly when there's blood already drawn from both the nose and from the eye. He's going to have to find an answer here. He's going to have to make things uncomfortable for Reavell.
Yeah, he's got to do this the hard way, hasn't he? And that's a decent start. You step in, you let those hands go. He's going to have to walk through a few, wear a few, to try and get his own punches off, to try and do some damage himself. He's got to just keep pushing that, keep believing that will work for him. Put his shoulder to that wheel and just push.
That's better. That's quite clever, wasn't it? That was cute from Axe. He stepped back, sort of up jab, caught Reavell on the counter. And it's been a better start to this fourth round for him. And there's a good jab from Axe too. So halfway through the fourth, best round of the fight so far for Axe. An element of control for him. Got his dad Christian ringside tonight as well. He's in the crowd. He'd be one of those parents who's done all the miles and taking you to the gym, taking you here, taking you everywhere. Andy, you'll have that ahead of you in a few years' time, Andy.
Interesting watching Will Jones in the corner there, Kevin Reavell's trainer. He's encouraging him to be more aggressive, basically, that when he lands those flurries of punches, to follow them up and go again, because I think they feel like he's landing with enough regularity and enough weight here consistently that he can really dominate this and maybe get the stoppage in the second half of the fight.
Interestingly, the pace slowing in this fourth round, it's actually suited Brad Axe, which you might not have necessarily thought that would be the case. But Axe has had his best round. I think he's winning it. And again, Reavell just conjuring a shot almost out of nothing. Space that didn't necessarily deserve it, managing to do so. Missing wildly with a left hook, and nearly the first time Axe has been able to punish him for that lunge. But a much, much better round for Axe, and whether that's because the pace dropped or not, change of play, whether he can build on it remains to be seen, but something for him to work with. Give Axe that round, Andy?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. We're at the halfway stage now. This is scheduled for 8, so you would say the Reavell is 3-1 up. And he's been down the stretch a few times. It's not like rounds 5, 6, 7 and 8 are going to be on no territory for him. Quite the opposite. In fact, it's Axe who is the much less experienced fighter of the two. But I think in the corner there, in the Reavell corner, I think they'll want him just to double down, go again. Keep that volume high and go after his man here a bit.
Here we go then, into round 5. Both looking to explode into action off that exchange. The slightest glimpse of an opportunity spied. And judging by the blood coming from the nose again of Axe, it might just be that Reavell did clip him there. Now that was fast from Reavell. Left-hand dip, came back with a right. That was clever. And a sharp counter right from Reavell. Just had a little glance down at his right glove. We saw Bilal Fawaz do a bit of that last night. That was just theatrics. I don't know if it was the same there from Reavell, but he did land the right hand. Oohs and ahs from the balcony there as Reavell gets through, and another left hook from Reavell gets through.
This is smart from Reavell in this round. He's used the jab a bit more. He's been a bit more picky with his punches. He's not done what I was suggesting he would do, which is go after Axe and try and keep that volume as high as possible, but he's just winding things up towards the end of the round here.
Well, he's clipped him with a couple. He was wild with the final left hook, but he measured a few of the shots that got through before, and very, very accurate there from Reavell. And he may just have regrouped to fill up the lungs in the previous round, because he's gone back to looking sharp in this 5th. There's been a good response this round from Reavell. You might have wondered where this fight was heading, but Reavell's got it back under control.
That big lead left hook, he's thrown that a lot, hasn't he? Sometimes he has landed it, but quite often, like we saw there, he's missed with it by a distance, and the balance goes, doesn't it? But Axe is not been able to capitalise on that at any stage.
Well, he landed sort of 4 or 5 shots before then, so he had Axe backing off. He'd already done the damage there, Reavell, so he could afford a little bit of wildness.
Seconds out, round 6.
Into round 6 then. Couple still to go. What a tough game this is. What a tough game this is. And his Air Force pals and those that have come down from the gym in Buckingham making their presence felt, their voices heard for Brad Axe. It's such a game of millimeters, isn't it? So many punches so close. But Reavell getting through with a couple of sharp shots again.
He went into this fight, you would say, a fairly heavy favourite, Reavell, when you looked at their resumes and who they've been in with and the kind of fights that they've had. And he's boxed like it, hasn't he? I think from the beginning. I would say that Brad Axe here has been overawed by any stretch, but it's been hard for him.
Yeah, some sharp shooting from Reavell. The speed through the first couple of rounds. Axe got a foothold in the fight in that 4th, but then Reavell back in control. And he just landed so many sharp, fast, hard shots, and it's the speed that's often the telling factor. And I think Johnny Clark said if there was no excuses tonight for Reavell, if he didn't perform, then it was on him. So that was an interesting kind of related pressure, I think, that they maybe both acknowledged. But he's risen to the occasion, Reavell, so far.
I remember talking to him the first time I joined you for one of these in the build-up, and James Osborne too, and what struck me about the pair of them was that they wanted proper fights. They wanted to test themselves, but at no point did they want to become somebody who was trading on their toughness and judged by their defeats. They did just want to go in deep and, oh, didn't they do well against this guy they were never going to beat? There's been quite a lot of that recently over the last few years. They don't want that. They want to win things.
That was a nice, fast left hand again with his back against the ropes. Reavell missed with a couple, as has been the case throughout, but less commanding than the 5th round, but enough shots getting through from Reavell again. So just a couple to go then, as we count down to our top of the bill still to come. Yasser Al-Ghina against Brad Townsend. A step towards the British title for the pair of them, but a big fight in his own right. And Sam Noakes returning tonight as well. He's eager to get his career back and running after 5 months out of the ring since that world title tilt. Sam Noakes coming up next after this. Are we going to get a late change in the play? Certainly those near 100 fans who come from Buckingham and from the Cotswolds to support Brad Axe tonight, hoping that that's going to be the case. With boxing, you never know, but Reavell very much in control of this one.
That was a neat left hand from Axe.
He has never quite been able to put a quietener on Kevin Reavell. He's never quite been able to build up enough momentum outside of that fourth round. There's always been a shot, hasn't it? Some fast hands from Reavell just to change the play back in his direction.
But if he goes the distance here, Axe, which it looks very much like he will, and assuming he doesn't manage to turn this around with some huge shot in the last 4.5 minutes that we've got remaining, then despite the defeat, this will do plenty for him. He'll learn a lot from this fight over the course of this 8 rounds, going in with somebody like Reavell, a good level fighter, an experienced level fighter. There'll be a lot to take from it.
Chopping right hand from Reavell, and he looks to build on that. Incentivized. I think he caught the mood there, rightly or wrongly, with a minute to go. Brad Axe looking to fire back. But I think both of their shorts could be up for use on a laundry advert. Just missed with the right hand. Brad Axe, the right idea to let loose. Caught Reavell on the side of the head with that one.
It's not like he hasn't had success in this fight, Brad Axe, because he has, but he just hasn't had enough of it in enough rounds to make this close going into the final round. He needs a knockout, doesn't he?
I'd say so. Yeah, I'd say so. Rounds 1 to 3, Reavell. Round 4 to Brad Axe. Round 5 to Reavell. And 6 and 7, Reavell probably controlling as well. So not enough rewards for Brad Axe's effort and industry on the cards, I suspect. But while there's time in a boxing ring, there is always hope. Respect from the pair of them as they touch gloves at the start of this 8th and final round. The crowd getting into it as well. And can the famous old Hond York Hall dish up some more classic boxing action in this final 3 minutes? Oh, that's a wicked left hook. And that's why you throw in combinations, isn't it? Because he closed the gap, right hand miss, came back with a left hook. That landed perfectly from Brad Axe. And again, nice little uppercut in close. A nice little level change as well there from Brad Axe. Nothing came from it, but it's made himself a slightly more difficult target to hit. A couple of nice body shots again. I like the tactic there from Axe. That's working for him.
And he's boxed a smart fight here, Reavell, hasn't he? Because I was encouraging him in the second half, at the start of the second half, to really try and put it on Brad Axe and maybe up the tempo, but he hasn't needed to do it. He's got good skills, he's kept him turning, kept him moving, which is exactly what you need to do when you're faced with somebody of this kind of physical stature. And he stuck to what has worked for him, what's worked from an early stage.
Oh, what you are as a boxer, what you believe in, and you can't necessarily be something you're not just because the situation demands it. But better from Axe in this round.
He's got great support, hasn't he? You've been talking about them, and you can hear them right behind us.
Yeah, busloads of them have come down. They've tried as hard as he has. Oh, almost a right hand there from Reavell. Little wild again in the exchange. Been a good round for Axe up to that point.
It was, and Reavell now just finishing it strong.
No Hail Mary finish in the end from Brad Axe, but a sterling finish from him. Probably enough to claw one back on the scorecard, but suspect scorecards that will lean towards Kevin Reavell, whose speed in the end, fast hands, just the telling and decisive factors here.
They were. But there's nothing to be ashamed of there for Brad Axe. There's nothing to regret or reproach himself for. He put plenty into that. He'll learn loads from it. It's a good fight for him to have. He came into this fight at 4-1, made his debut a couple of years ago now. He's selling tickets, obviously. He can sell tickets. It means that you're limited in how many times you can box. And when you get an opportunity like this, you should take it. And he did take it. And it'll stand him in really good stead, I think. And the referee's just handing over his scorecard to Huss. Maybe 6-2. I couldn't find any more than 2 there for Axe, I don't think, personally.
But in the same way Kevin Reavell has thrown his hat in the ring so often, you suspect Brad Axe might be the kind of guy to do exactly that. Although when you're wearing the scars of battle like that, you've got to go home to a wife and kids, and to young kids too. What they must wonder about this sport that we love, and Brad Axe and Kevin Reavell love as well. Who knows what they think. Good competitive fight though, and Johnny Clark wanted Kevin Reavell to be on it, and I think he got his wish, and Reavell absolutely was back on it tonight.
I think he'd love to win an area title, wouldn't he? We saw him in that Southern Area middleweight title fight against P.A. Gordon, and P.A. Gordon won that fight, but it was a good fight, and P.A. Gordon is someone who I think we would expect to go on to maybe British title level. You know, he's a good fighter, isn't he? So I think that's what Reavell would really, I think he'd love to get one of them and then see what he can maybe do after that.
Yeah, I'll come back to that. Let's get confirmation of this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Sean McAvoy scores the bout 77-76. And your winner, Brad the Axeman Axe.
Wow, well, we didn't see that coming.
No, I really didn't. I said 6-2 Reavell. That's 4 rounds to Brad Axe, 3 rounds to Reavell, and 1 drawn, 77-76. And that just isn't what I saw. I'm not going to second guess myself. We're sitting here at ringside. We watch a lot of boxing. Sean McAvoy, the referee who scored it, he's been at ringside a lot. He also sees a lot of boxing. He didn't see what we saw. I thought that was a clear win for Kevin Reavell, but a credit-worthy performance by Brad Axe. I honestly don't really know how to explain that.
No, I don't. And Reavell has already left the ring in disgust. And I don't think it's the first time in his career when that has happened. Great credit to the effort of Brad Axe, who gets the nod from the referee. He had to bite through the pain, the discomfort, the difficulty that was coming his way. And in the eyes of the referee, he found an answer.
And I don't want to take anything away from him. You know, that we have to be absolutely clear, don't we? Like, he doesn't score the fight, and people watching at home may well think, well, Sean McAvoy got that absolutely right. Alex Steedman and Andy Clark got that totally wrong. We don't know. We do this in our own little cocoon. We trust ourselves to do it. And as we said during the fight, he put a real shift in there and did himself credit. I just don't think he won.
No, I don't. Reavell was pinging shots all over the place through the first 3 rounds. He did it again in the 5th, and although there was less in the 6th and 7th, there was still enough, I think. But there we are. That's what we have, and that's what this night has thrown up. And Brad Axe won't be caring about that. Neither will his fans. Let's get reaction now with Ali.
A fantastic fight. First off, you did get the decision there. How confident were you when that final bell went that you were going to get the decision?
To be honest, I did think it was close, but I think those last couple of rounds at the end, I listened to what my corner was telling me. I knew it was going to be relatively close going into those last couple of rounds, and I just screwed the nut a little bit those last couple, and I was pretty confident at the end that I'd done enough.
I mean, a brilliant fight for the people watching, but how was it to be a part of?
Yeah, it was incredible, to be honest. I mean, that was my first 8-rounder, bit of a step up. Kevin's been in there with opponents before, doing 8, 10 rounds multiple times. So I knew he was going to be fit and durable for the round. So going into those last couple, I was aware that he had the fitness to up the pace a little bit as well. But I know I was fitter than I've ever been coming into this fight, and that showed in there.
Yeah, and valuable rounds that you'll learn a lot from going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not 100% sure what's in the pipeline for what's next, but Johnny did whisper at the media day before that the winner of this should go on and box for a title. So hopefully, obviously that was my 6th fight tonight. So we'll see what happens next.
And we can't let you go without mentioning the huge support that you've brought in here tonight. We can hear them now. They didn't stop throughout that. Final word to them.
Just up the Axe gang. For me, it's horrendous. Every boxer, they might not admit it, but when you're stood up there waiting to come in, you think, what the fuck am I doing this for? But you come in, you hear the crowd, and that is exactly what it's for. So thank you all very much, spending your hard-earned money coming to support me, and it just means so much, so thank you. And shout out to my obviously it goes without saying, but the amazing team, the amazing people that I've got around me. Again, I wouldn't be sat here now if it wasn't for you, your coaches, sponsors, my management. Just incredible, so thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
Brad, well done.
Thank you.